Henry, why don't you introduce yourself if you don't mind? We'll get into a lot of things to the audience. I'm sure there's a couple people that don't know you. Most do, obviously. So why don't you talk a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I started investing in 2017. That's when I bought my first house. Was a rental property. My goals at the time were to buy one house a year for 5 years, and that seemed like a stretch goal. I was like, "Whoa, that's a lot to think about." And I did that first deal, and after I did that first deal, I was like, "Whoa, I need to figure out how to do that a lot again right now." And so we ended up scaling up. I learned a lot through that first deal. I tell her my first deal was like a crash course in like real estate investing 101. I got very, part of it is luck and part of it is positioning. Like if you're studying a craft and doing the things, you end up in the right position at the right time. So it's not necessarily luck, but the first deal, like I had the banker who helped me with that deal, ended up just essentially teaching me what the BRRRR method was and how to execute it and how to use local community banks. And so that first deal taught me so much about how to find the money for deals. And so I just started focusing on how to get really good at finding deals, because I essentially had the money through these local community banks. And that taught me a lot. It forced me to become a deal finder. And that's pretty much how I operate my business today. I focus purely on how do I go find good deals, and then how do I buy those deals, and then I'll figure out how to make money off them after I buy them.
So tell me a little bit about your business now. So been in the business for 7-ish years. I'm sure like most people kind of fumbled your way at first and then started to gain some traction once you figured out some systems, some processes, and figured out a steady deal flow and a money source. So what does your business look like today, man?
Yeah, man, it's a pretty boring real estate business, man. I am consistently marketing. Mostly off-market deals are what we buy. So we're using mostly direct mail. I use a combination of direct mail and direct mail SEO and radio ads. We do some radio ads, and that's pretty much the majority. We're going to start doing some text messaging, see how we like that. But I'm pretty consistent on the radio and on the SEO within my website, and that brings the majority of lead flow. Now I get some word of mouth deals and some agents bring me some stuff. Like I get all those other things, but the things we're consistently doing is direct mail and SEO.
Henry, tell us a little bit about your rentals. 130 rentals, that's amazing. Are they all in Northwest Arkansas? And what does your typical numbers look like on your rental avatar?
Yeah, the majority of them are in Northwest Arkansas. And then I'd say maybe a little less than a third of them, probably less than that, probably a fourth of them are in Joplin, Missouri, Pittsburgh, Kansas. And so those mostly cash flow market there, whereas Northwest Arkansas, you get more appreciation. You get some cash flow too, but you get more appreciation. And so typical rental, it's a little different now than it was a couple of years ago. So the things that I bought 2 or 3 years ago are cash flowing extremely well because rents have gone up substantially and property values have gone up substantially. And so those look great. And then rentals that I've bought this past year, they're maybe barely cash flowing or breaking even. But that's okay, right? Like said differently, it's okay for where I am at right now. If you're brand new, you need to work hard and figure out how to go find the cash flow that you need, because that's your safety net, right? But for me, who has a portfolio of really good cash flowing properties, like real estate in the last year has become more of what it traditionally should be, which is a very long-term play.
How has your education business been? Because I'll start it. Mine's been getting kicked square in the teeth in the past, ours, I guess, but I know it's kind of my baby, but ours has been getting kicked in the teeth the past 6-8 months. And I'm in the similar masterminds. We're in one together and I'm in a couple other ones. And I've had some conversations with some people that have been in the education space for 20, 30, and 44 years, and they're all feeling it too. So anyways, they're all very high level operators and everybody's seen quite a bit of a pullback the last couple of months. So I want to see if you're the outlier, if you're seeing a little bit of that, and then I want to talk about some reasons why, because I think it's an interesting conversation, because I have some theories I want to run by you guys.
I think there is a pullback in high ticket sales for sure. I am not feeling it probably as much as most for a couple of reasons. I think one being I've been trying to work and get this thing buttoned up to where it's producing the amount of income that I want it to produce for about a year now. And in that year, I've been steady kind of at the same dollar per month that I've always been at. And so I haven't really seen it. Matter of fact, in July, we did more than we did in June. So we went up in July. Part of that is because we've added some new features and some new infrastructure to automate things. It's made things a little bit easier and less manual. But the other reason, I believe, is that I'm at a lower ticket price than most other coaches. And so I think that that's why I haven't seen the dip that maybe other coaches have seen, because I don't charge as much and people are getting tighter on money. And so if they are shopping programs and they can get similar features and one of them substantially cheaper, I may be getting some of the, I may be picking up some of your pieces.
Yep, that makes sense.
So you got your big goals when you first started building your rental portfolio was 5 of these every 5 years. It reminds me of Sam and I. Ours was 1 a year every 10 years. Yours is 1 a year every 5 years. My bad, I misspoke there. So you got 130 of these now. So obviously blew those out of the water. When
I'm a little ahead of schedule.
A little ahead of schedule.
Slightly.
And then, when did you realize like, oh man, these are not the right goals? And then also like, what have your goals shifted to now for your rental portfolio, if any?
Look, I think goals are smart. Everybody should have some sort of goals, but goals should not be static. They should definitely be dynamic, because your goals are based on what you know at the time. And if you're taking on some new venture, you don't know anything, right? You don't know what's possible. And so you got to be able to be dynamic and shift your goals the more you start to know and learn. Like, you should set some goals as a new real estate investor. And then after you do your first deal, you should reevaluate those goals. Because you could say, hey, look, I want to buy 10 rental properties this year. And then you go buy your first one and realize this crap is for the birds. I don't want to be a landlord, right? Like, then you need to shift your goals, right? Or you could do your first rental property and furnish it and realize, oh, snap, I really like designing and furnishing properties. Well, maybe your goals need to be to do short-term rentals, because that's more hospitality based. Like, you're going to learn something as you go. So they need to be dynamic. So after we did that first deal, we learned that what we thought was possible wasn't even close. Like, it was so much more possible and achievable and reachable than we thought. So we said, all right, well, we got to increase our goals, because I thought it was going to have to be, I got to save up $50,000 for a down payment and then go buy a house. And I was like, if I got to do that, it's going to take me a year to be able to do that. 5 years, that's still a lofty goal, but I quickly learned I didn't have to do that. And so I could increase my goals.
Thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Make sure to hit that like button, comment with something you learned, and make sure to subscribe to this channel. We give away more free advice on how to create wealth based on things we actually do every single day than any other channel on YouTube. Make sure to share this with a friend, because our mission is to inspire you to think differently about freedom.